Scientists have warned that recovering our oceans to the point that we can once again call them healthy will take collaboration and a lot of hard work.
When human populations were much smaller, the solution was to move on. So you destroy your natural resources in one area, and then you move on to another place where there's plenty of natural resources to exploit. Well, that solution is not available anymore. We're reaching the limits of the planet. That's the reality, and societies have to learn this, that they have to change the way they utilize natural resources.
The assurance that the work has to be carrying not only from the government point of view. Private sector is very critical to this matter. In most of cases, we draw the situation down to the realm of government, federal government, state government. No. The extent to which they can work on this, it can be effective on this one without carrying the private sector along with us, is still going to be a problem.
So far, how would you describe the participation of the private sector?
Well, the private sector at the level, I think we need a lot more sensitization of private sector to key into this area. Private sector may look at it from the money making only, but we look at it beyond that: security, safety, and be able to protect the own environment. An important area we can talk about exploitation of deep sea resources, minerals. We can talk about fishing. We can talk about fishing at various strata, deep sea fishing. And there are a lot of deep sea resources we are not able to tap that can lead to a lot of solve or address the situation of food security. The private sector is very, they can be a leverage to a lot of issues that can turn to real money, turn to reinvestment, and make Nigeria less an importer of fish and be able to fulfill, apart from the other resources. So private sector, their role is very critical on this matter. Yet the government can provide the enabling environment. And that enabling environment is to make it easier for the private sector to invest and create the right environment for investment purposes.
Land-based sources such as agricultural runoff, discharge of nutrients and pesticides, and untreated sewage, including plastics, account for approximately 80% of marine pollution globally. Marine habitats worldwide are contaminated with man-made debris or spills remain a concern. Excessive nutrients from sewage outfalls and agricultural runoff have contributed to the increasing incidence of low oxygen areas known as dead zones, where most marine life cannot survive, resulting in the collapse of some ecosystems. There are now close to 500 dead zones with a total global surface area of over 245,000 square kilometers, roughly equivalent to that of the United Kingdom. The excess nitrogen can also stimulate the proliferation of seaweeds and microorganisms and cause algal blooms. Such blooms can be harmful, causing massive fish kills, contaminating seafood with toxins, and altering ecosystems. Later can accumulate in huge floating garbage patches or wash up on the coast. Light-resistant plastic floats in the ocean, releasing contaminants as they break down into toxic microparticles that animals mistake for food. Fish and birds can choke on these particles, get sick as they accumulate in their stomachs, or become entangled in large debris.
You find out that some of these plastics, when they get into the ocean, some of these fish species, they don't know. They assume, as I give you an example, that they will see a plastic, like a sachet of pure water, going around inside the water, and then a turtle thinks it is jellyfish, and then it goes plastic into the system. That's dangerous. And so these are some of the things that we are saying, that healthy ocean, the ocean must be kept clean. You must keep the ocean clean. And that is why we are saying that it's a healthy ocean, healthy planet. The blue planet must be kept healthy.
As the world saw in 2010, the Gulf of Mexico deep water oil spill had a devastating effect on the entire marine ecosystem, as well as the populations that depend on the marine areas for their livelihoods. Smaller oil spills happen every day due to drilling incidents or leaking motors and cause the death of birds, marine mammals, algae, fish, and shellfish.
The pollution that happens in the ocean, right? It's not necessarily that somebody just go to the ocean to go and dump something. But that pollution that is happening there can start from even the fresh water. For example, the people who are in the textile industry in the Express Road, Apapa, all these places, their effluent goes into the water. That water, one way or the other, finds its way into the ocean. The people that dump all these things in Ido, the lagoon, that effluent, one way or the other, finds its way into the ocean. This is it. That connection is there. That connection is there. So, and that is why we're saying that, yes, fair enough, except occasional spills that is so dangerous to the survival of the fish. And that is why if there's any spill, we try as much as possible to say that they contain it so that before it goes beyond containment, make sure you contain it so that it will not damage the ecosystem.
Microplastics and plastic pellets are found on most beaches around the world. Pollution also poisons our food. The toxins and plastic ingested by fish and shellfish end up in our plate, and the consumption of shellfish and other seafood is often banned briefly to avoid food poisoning. This pollution costs the fishing and shipping industry millions of dollars. The scattered plastic bags get caught in both propellers and coolant intakes, damaging the engines. Loss of habitat and biodiversity is increasingly impairing the ocean's capacity to improve food and other services. The extinction of fish species could lead to starvation or undernourishment. Ghost fishing that occurs when the scattered fishing nets entangle marine life indiscriminately as they continue to float in the ocean, reduce fishers' revenues from lost catch.
The fishing industry that we have close to about 100 or more trawlers fishing in our waters. Anytime they go out, there's a possibility that they will lose nets. When they lose these nets, that net goes down into the bottom of the ocean. What happens? Because they cannot retrieve that net again, that net stays there. What happens? It becomes a pollutant in the water. All over the world now, they use nylon nets. So when these nylon nets goes down, then they are not easily degradable, and they stay there for so many years. And then in the process, they also what we call ghost fishing. The nets are there, the fish are also being caught by that net inside, and whereas, so that's what we call ghost fishing. So it's also destroying the resources, because the ocean is our heritage. That is where we get our food, and we must be very careful. And for us to continue to harvest effectively from the ocean, we must keep that ocean, clean. We must keep it healthy. We must ensure that the creatures inside are also, ensure that they get all the necessary nutrients that are required inside the ocean.
The opportunities to contribute to sustaining our oceans are endless and continue all year round. Remember, the choice to save or destroy this planet is ours, all of us together. Now, should you have any comment or questions, our inbox at file@channelstv.com is always available. Let's do it again next week. From all of us here in Lagos, it's bye for now.